Frank Madu, a 17-yard touchdown run after Chris Hayes' 67-yard interception return in the third quarter. Hicks a couple of touchdown runs in the period. Wayne Cook sacked 6 times in the game. And the word in the third quarter was J.J. Stokes will not return today. Now, he was certainly a question mark at the top of our telecast, how much he would play and how effective he would be. It's 2nd and 13. Cook fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Washington State. Dwayne Patterson having a repeat day for this Cougar defense that he had a year ago against UCLA.
Well, you can talk about the Arizona Wildcats and their great defense, but this team from Washington State plays great defense also. And Patterson, number 86, is a big-time player. You see Cook stepping up here. Patterson is so quick. He beats his man back to the inside and is always thinking turnover. He gets in and knocks the ball loose, and Washington State recovers. Look at him come back in. Look at the hand looking for the throwing arm of the quarterback, and he knocks the ball loose.
Recovered by Dwayne Sanders of the Cougars.
Now Dwayne Sanders caused the fumble. Patterson recovered it. Kevin Hicks into the ball game. He's got it, moves it out across the 47 where he's hit and dropped by Grady Stretz. It'll be 2nd down and call it 10, a long 9. A bewildered UCLA offensive line.
Well, you know, the UCLA defense is a young defense, and young defenses don't think in terms of making turnovers. They think in terms of doing their responsibilities, being in the right position and making a tackle.
Kevin Hicks hit and dropped by Donnie Edwards. What a big play, man. The outside linebacker on the right side, number 23, Edwards.
You'll see Edwards make the play out there. He's a outside linebacker out there. He gets out and does a good job defeating the block to make the play.
I don't think any Cougar even got a helmet on him to block him.
A 5-yard loss on the play.
Kevin Hicks is down on the field, a timeout. And what a blow that would be to Washington State. Hicks has played so well today. 13 carries for 30 yards. And he has 2 touchdowns. So while the medical staff of Washington State looks over Hicks, we'll step away with 12:56 to play in the game.
Looks like the perfect house. Everything that you've always wanted. And some problems that may surprise you. Well, that's why you need a realtor. You see, realtors know what to look for and how to avoid big mistakes. They'll even help find the right financing, the kind that you get at Great Western. You know, buying a home is tricky, so let Great Western and your realtor help, because without them, it's real easy to get fooled.
Watch USC football all season long on Prime Ticket. The Baylor Bears visit the Coliseum to take on the Trojans tonight, live at 7.
Located in the heart of Hollywood, Pennsylvania Builder Supply is the store for contractors and serious do-it-yourselfers. Our knowledgeable and experienced staff will get you in and out with what you need, quickly and efficiently. Pennsylvania Builder Supply has everything you need for earthquake foundation bolting, chimney repair, and chimney rebuilding, including metal flue systems. For the largest selection in the area of masonry supplies, brick, block, stucco, plaster, builder's hardware, and more. Pennsylvania Builder Supply on Santa Monica Boulevard, 2 blocks east of Highland in Hollywood.
18 and a quarter now, half over limit, 75 limit, $1,900 over limit, sold it. Right over there, 1875. Ever thought about becoming an auctioneer? Hi, I'm Don Kennedy. We're now taking registrations for our fall classes at the Southern California Auction Academy. You can call me anytime during the week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and learn how you can become an auctioneer. Call me at 1-800-522-6664.
Fourth quarter, 12:56 to play. Washington State pitching the shutout, and there is Kevin Hicks as he walks off under his own power.
Let's take a look at how Hicks got hurt here. You'll see the tackle, and he gets his leg, it looks like, caught underneath 23, Donnie Edwards. Looks like he probably twisted it a little bit or something.
Al Hicks, 13 carries. He's got 2 touchdowns, only 2 carries over 5 yards today. While the yardage has come tough, Hicks has been so impressive for Washington State. 3rd down now at 15. That's Madu. Whoa, he's got the first down and out of bounds at the 37-yard line by Paul Guidry. And the block that cleared him was provided by the backup tight end, David Knuff.
Well, UCLA rolled the dice a little bit and came with the blitz. And Davis picked it up, and nobody covered 34 Madu. You'll see Madu, top of the screen, 34 flare out, and nobody picks him up. And Davis hangs in there to take the shot from 97 Ward. You'll see 97 Ward coming in. He takes on Davis, flush, drives him into the ground, but Davis gets the ball out to Madu, who picks up a lot of yardage for Washington State.
Those kind of hits hurt a lot more when those passes are incomplete, don't they?
They hurt just the same tomorrow morning, I guarantee you that.
First down, Washington State. The give is to Madu, and he moves the pile inside the 39 to the 38. George Case, the nose guard, makes the stop.
But with just over 12 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, Phil, if UCLA is going to have any chance of getting back in this ball game, the defense has got to force a turnover. But right now, Washington State looks very confident, very much in control, and they are protecting the ball.
Double wide outs to the bottom. Evan Ford and Albert Kennedy. There's Madu. He finds running room across the left side, and he's banged down at the 32 by Andy Colbert. Boy, Andy Colbert has been in on a number of stops this afternoon, Rod Gilmore, and he's just a sophomore from right here in Pasadena.
Replaced Carl Greenwood on that right corner. Greenwood with a broken leg out for the year. So Colbert really was expected to be their nickel back. See, only 165 pounds, 5'8", but he's a tough guy, not afraid to stick his nose in there and make big tackles.
It is such a young UCLA defense. Only 2 seniors starting today. Fumbles on the exchange, and Chad Davis fell on it. Clock running, 11:07 to play.
Good presence by Davis, not to try to pick up the ball and do anything with it. He knows that he needs to just protect the ball, so he jumps right on it. And that way, Washington State keeps possession.
Now George Martin's going to punt it away. Mike Price and company want to pin the Bruins as deep as possible. Paul Guidry is walking backwards for UCLA. He's the single safety back at the 11-yard line. Martin thus far today is long of 48, averaging just about 37 yards a punt. UCLA looks like they're coming to block it. They're going to take a intentional delay of game to back the ball up another 5 yards to give their punter George Martin just that much more room. Now we talked at the outset of our telecast, Rod, about this very stingy Washington State defense, and they are certainly every bit as touted.
Well, I don't think anyone expected them to come in and totally shut down UCLA.
Offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
UCLA really hasn't been able to mount any kind of a drive this afternoon against Washington State's outstanding defense. And Terry Donahue, I'm sure, is really frustrated at that. Only 130 yards in total offense for UCLA.
Only 40 on the ground. Martin. He unloads it on, oh, is this a beauty. Into the end zone it goes, about 9 yards deep. A 40-yard punt for UCLA, and they'll have it at their own 20-yard line after the touchback with 10:17 to play in the ball game. It's the Cougars 21, UCLA nothing.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
To discover the real difference between the world's two leading soft drinks, we're implementing an anthropological study. Chimp A will be allowed nothing but Coke. Chimp B, nothing but Pepsi. The results are astounding. The chimp that drank Coke showed improvement in motor skills. The chimp that drank Pepsi, however, disappeared.
Hello? It's him!
La Victoria, when you're ready for real salsa.
College football is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Flying the low-fare airline is just plain smart. And by Cold Clean Original Coors, because you feel like it.
10-17 to play in the ball game. Washington State leading at 21-0. And UCLA has elected to make a change at quarterback. Ryan Bean has gone in now for the first time today in place of Wayne Cook. Cook, 7 sacks on the afternoon. You looked at Bean's numbers. His career at UCLA, 15 of 35. That's Milner. He's out across to 23.
James Milner.
UCLA on the afternoon is now rushed for a tidy sum of 43 yards.
Yeah, and it's not just because, you know, they fell behind in the ball game and had to throw the ball. They were in the ball game and they were trying to run, but Washington State just would not let UCLA outside, and they wouldn't let them run up the middle.
That is only the second carry by a UCLA running back other than Sharmon Shaw. Milner now 2 carries for 5 yards. Here in Washington has 1 carry for 3. Sharmon Shaw 14 carries for 62. Rifles it out to Jordan. He's got it. Hit and dropped at the 43. And did Bean thread the needle? Mark Fields on the tackle.
Very nice throw by Fiend. I think the other thing that Fiend will add to UCLA right now is a little bit better movement at the quarterback position. He's a little bit more of a better runner than Wayne Cook. But right here, he just steps back and throws a bullet to Kevin Jordan on a nice curl pattern, and Jordan shows you that he can run with the ball after making the catch.
A pickup of 20. Bean looking to the near side again, drills a shot at Jordan. It's complete at the 47-yard line, tackled by Singor Mobley. Well, this is the year for this Washington State defense to flex Rod Gilmore, because there are 8 seniors in that lineup right now.
Well, and you want to have a experienced team out there for you defensively. That's when your team can really think about making turnovers. They're confident. They know how to exchange duties out there, and they go after the ball.
Jordan now 8 catches, 93 yards. Jim McElroy is now in at 1 wideout spot for UCLA. Bean looking over the middle, looks to the right side. Now he's going to lay it up. And it is knocked away. Intended for McElroy. Good coverage on the play by Torrey Hunter.
But Torrey Hunter's had an outstanding game, as has most of this Washington State defense, and it would be very difficult to select an outstanding player on the Washington State defense. Watch the coverage here by 24 Torrey Hunter. He almost picks this ball off. Pretty good job by the wide receiver to make sure that he doesn't get the interception. Jim McElroy, number 85, knocks it away from Torrey Hunter.
Jordan wide right. In the slot is Brian Adams. Bean looking right, blitz on. He shoots it out. It is caught. Darren Washington on the flare goes out of bounds at the 43. Great pressure by Chris Hayes, but I'll tell you what, give a lot of credit to the young quarterback Ryan Bean.
Yeah, he kept his composure there when he was under pressure and lofted the ball out there for Darren Washington to come up with. Watch, he's got to stand in here right now and take this shot from Hayes.
3-yard gain on the pass play.
That's tough to do after you sit on the sideline for 3 hours, then you come into the ball game and then get knocked around.
Tell you, Rod, that's a lot of punishment to take for a 2-yard pickup. 3rd down now and a long 8. Bean looking near side. Ball pops up. Is it an incomplete pass? Yes, says the official. No fumble. The arm was coming forward. And Dwayne Patterson once more is in the UCLA kitchen.
He's just relentless. He is outstanding. He has so much speed and quickness, and he's very difficult to block. When you start thinking that you can block him to the outside, he just comes inside of you. You'll see him run around the blocker that time. He goes right past Chad Overhauser and has the presence of mind again to try and knock the ball out and to recover it.
UCLA now 0 for their last 12 third down situations. Now it's 4th down and 7. Pressure, feed to the near side. It's caught. No. Brian Adams, you can bet. Heard footsteps. Todd Shaw again pressuring Ryan Fean. He was all over Fean. Lots of Cougar fans here at the Rose Bowl on this beautiful fall afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
well, they're going to create a lot more fans the way that defense plays. They'll have a whole lot of folks jumping on the bandwagon for the Cougars because I'll tell you, this team can flat out play. You see that UCLA has only been shut out once in the last 265 games.
Yeah, that came 2 years ago against the Sun Devils of Arizona State. 8:22 to play in the ball game. Correction, Davis eludes number 97, Philip Ward. Pressure by Anthony Jones. Anthony Jones is the transfer from Notre Dame. He's a sophomore out of Robbins, Illinois. And now you see Chad Davis limping just a bit.
Right now, Chad Davis just needs to turn around and hand the ball off to number 5, Derek Sparks, or 23, Kevin Hicks, and let that offensive line go to work and try and milk this clock with 7:45 to go in the 4th quarter.
2nd down and 13. There's Sparks, and there's nothing there. Now Washington State, a week from today, they will travel to Knoxville to take on the Volunteers of Tennessee. UCLA calls a timeout. UCLA knocked off Tennessee here at the Rose Bowl in UCLA's season opener. A timeout on the field with 7:28 to play. We're coming back to the Rose Bowl in a moment.
Imagine a couple of Swedish engineers have dinner with a couple of German engineers. The Swedish engineers over herring talk about safety, while the German engineers over bratwurst talk about the joy of driving. And what do you think they'd end up with? Probably the new Volvo 960. Now the only question is, who's going to pick up the tab? The new 960 from Volvo.
The hot new Chevy Camaro. Just $14,339 gets you an all-new structural design inside and out. And $14,339 for dual airbags, 4-wheel ABS, and a whole lot more. The all-new Chevy Camaro. Beyond belief, but well within reach.
Hello, I'm Al Percolo, scout for the New York Yankees. You know, I think I know what's bothering the owners. Attendance stinks.
This season, the World Series will be played, but only in a theater near you.
Get out there and play a good game.
They'll play with dignity, with skill, with integrity.
Just a guy taking 15%.
I thought it was 10. 20th Century Fox presents the comedy that won't strike. The Scout, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
Every stadium in America has its unique characteristics, but here at the Rose Bowl, framed by the beautiful San Gabriel Mountains, I don't think there's any more beautiful setting in all of college football. Chad Davis. He wants the first down and more, and it's incomplete, intended for Albert Kennedy. And again, Andy Colbert is right there with help from Javelin Guidry. There is Colbert.
You'll see Colbert comes over. A little bit of contact there right as the ball arrives. Makes a nice play. I know Phil Stone would believe that that would be pass interference, but you got to have a little bit of contact.
I'm trying to find the yellow handkerchief.
4th down and 13.
Martin to punt it away, and it's Guidry deep. Calling for the fair catch at the 24. He's got it. With 7:13 to play, let's go down to Paul.
All right, thank you very much. A very special guest. If you follow Pac-10 football, you know Anthony McClanahan, linebacker last year for Washington State. You got to be pretty happy with the way your team's playing here today, especially on the defensive side.
I'm overjoyed right now. You know, these guys are playing phenomenal ball. You know, the offense is coming around. The defense is just playing like up to par like always. You've got a new defensive coordinator. My linebacker coach, you know, just going his own little plays or whatnot. And everybody seems to be fired up, and as you can see by the score.
Everybody talks about Desert Swarm. Who's better this year, Arizona's defense or Washington State?
Man, you know who that is. It's the Cougars. Like I said, you know, last year, the year before that, especially this year, just playing, just doing their thing like always.
All right, you were with Dallas for a little while, and now you're headed where to continue your football career?
Well, Calgary drafted me, and they have my rights. You know, I'm never going to throw out the NFL, but I think next week I will be in Calgary. I just got word that, you know, that they want me and they have my rights or whatnot. So I'm not done playing ball. I'll be in Calgary.
I look forward to seeing you out there again. Great career in the Pac-10. Back up to you.
All right, Paul. Here comes number 30, Darren Washington, and there's not much running room. He needed to get to the 36.5. He moved it out to the 37. It's a UCLA first down. I'll tell you, rushing yardage has come very, very difficult today. UCLA, 47 yards on the ground on 27 carries.
Can't do it much better than that.
Bean looking near side, now takes it downfield. Almost intercepted. Mike Wynn tipped it. Chris Hayes had a chance at it, couldn't hold it.
Yeah, Chris Hayes tipped it first. Chris Hayes had a chance to pick that ball off and start running towards the end zone and do a little bit of high stepping of his own. But he lets his ball get away from him. Take a look at this. Right here, Chris Hayes is right there, jumps a little bit too soon, and allows Wynn a shot at the ball. He won't like the film session tomorrow when the coaches show that one.
Yeah, but you know what Hayes is going to tell the coaches? Coach, scoreboard.
Yeah, coach said, good point.
Second down and 10. Now the ball at the 39. From the gun, Ryan Bean at quarterback. Here comes the pressure again, unloads, and it is caught at the 48-yard line of Washington State. Mike Wynn caught it. I don't know how, because the free safety, Todd Jensen, can't cover a receiver any better.
Yeah, and I don't know how Ryan Fine got this ball to him under all that pressure. Look at this throw, and look how Wynn goes down low to create a basket for it, and what a great, great defensive effort to knock the ball out. And look how Fine stands in there to this pressure. Washington State says, fine, if you're going to throw the ball, we're going to keep bringing the pressure.
And Chad Eaton is the guy that's bringing the lunchbox. Over the middle it goes, incomplete, intended.
Pass is incomplete.
I believe it was intended for McElroy. It was. Chris Hayes again pressuring Ryan Feen. And other scores around the nation: Notre Dame all over Purdue, 39-21 in the rain at South Bend. Number 10, Auburn, no trouble at all with East Tennessee State. And Alabama, number 11, a little trouble with the Green Wave, but finally knocks them out 20-10. Texas A&M, 41, Southern Mississippi 17.
And Texas 21-0 in the second quarter over TCU.
On 2nd and 10, pass intended for Kevin Jordan. James Darling was, I'll tell you, he was cheek to cheek with Jordan.
And Chris Hayes had another shot at an interception. Jordan was hit as the ball went past him, and Hayes had it right in his sights again, couldn't come up with it.
Now Terry Donahue looking right now at perhaps a second shutout of his Bruins in the last 2 years.
Well, Donahue wasn't certain how his team would react after the beating they got from Nebraska last week, and I'm certain he would say not very well, considering the offensive ineptitude tonight.
Under pressure, it's Darren Washington. He had it, couldn't hold it. UCLA now in third down opportunities, 1 of 14 on the day.
I can't recall the last time a UCLA offense has had such trouble moving the ball and scoring.
Now, Terry told us yesterday in his office, Rod, that he felt this Washington State defense was really going to be a load. And he said, hey, they're better than Nebraska. We know that already, and they're showing it today.
Some people may say, well, come on, Nebraska, that's the #1 team. But this Washington State defense is right there with Arizona's, if not better.
From the shotgun on 4th down and 10. Bean needs 10. pass interference out there. Nope. Intended for Mike Wynn. Ron Childs tipped it. And that takes off any flag that might have been thrown once the ball's tipped. So Washington State will take the football with 5:43 to play at their own 47-yard line.
This is a huge win for Washington State.
What a game today. But next weekend, Rod and I, along with Paul Sunderland, will come to you from the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. Danny O'Neill and his Oregon Ducks, big winners today, will take on Southern California and Rob Johnson. That's next Saturday, 6:30 Eastern Time. USC Trojans and the Ducks of Oregon. Our Pac-10 game of the week right here on Prime. That's David Spence in motion to the top, straight ahead. It goes to Frank Madu. And he moves it to the midfield stripe and is dropped by London Woodfin.
You know, Washington State also felt it was important for them to play well in Los Angeles because they do so much recruiting down here, Phil. And to come into Pasadena and play this well really will help them in their recruiting during the offseason.
That's a good point. Mike Price told us yesterday that he thought as many as 30 high school players that UCLA and Washington State have an interest in might be in the Rose Bowl today watching this game. And I'll tell you, if you've got a youngster that's trying to decide between UCLA and Washington State, what a job the Cougars have done today. That's Madu again. Abdul McCullough on the tackle.
We coming home with a victory, baby. We're gonna have some fun.
That's the Samoan himself, Don Sassa. He's a senior tackle from the area here, Long Beach, California. He's the volleyball player at Long Beach.
Yeah, they call him Pizza Man.
Oh, I don't understand why.
I wonder why.
He can probably deliver 100 of them.
He gets all the pizza he wants. He's 281 pounds. And you see J.J. Stokes, whose senior season so far has got to be sort of a nightmare for him. He hasn't played very much. He's been injured. His team isn't doing very well either.
Madu. Now, Donnie Edwards almost got the handoff there from Chad Davis. And we've got a timeout now called by UCLA on 4th down and 9. 4:14 to play on this ball game. Washington State manhandling the Bruins.
This label tells you it's 100% cotton. This label tells you it's 100% real cheese. And this label tells you it's 100% low fares. Always check the label. Southwest, the low-fare airline. Southwest Airlines wrote the book on low fares. And it's available in paperback. For low fares to more places more often, fly Southwest, the low-fare airline.
I've got this friend who owns a business, and he has some real good people working for him. So I told him to sign him up for Great Western Direct Deposit. On paydays, their money will go into their checking account automatically. No rushing to the bank, no waiting in line, and they'll save money. See, Great Western throws in a regular checking account with no monthly service charges. So if you've got employees, offer them Great Western Direct Deposit. I've got it.
UCLA came in a 7-point favorite to beat Washington State. It's the Cougars 21, the Bruins. The defending Pac-10 champions, nothing with 4:14 to play. George Martin is set to punt it away. Paul Guidry is standing back at the 14-yard line for UCLA. Good snap. Oh, does he boom it? 52 yards. Touchback. And the Bruins will put it in play at the 20-yard line.
Return by the Bruins.
Number 1.
Head on.
I'll tell you, when this defense beat Illinois at Soldier Field in their first game of the year, Lou Tepper of Illinois said, "We saw an excellent defense."
Well, you know, take a look at that. The last shutout that Washington State had was against Pacific in 1993. Oregon State was the last Pac-10 shutout they had back in 1985. And it's sort of ironic, you know, that Mike Price has had all these great offensive teams over the years and hasn't won a conference championship with that. But now he's got a great defense that has the ability to shut people out.
Bean coming to the near side, looking for Avery Anderson, and it is incomplete. Ray Jackson went up in the air with Anderson and knocked it away. Ray Jackson playing for Greg Burns, who would have been a third-year starter this year. Burns out with a knee injury. He's going to redshirt this year. Boy, Jackson timed his jump perfectly. The sophomore out of Mater Dei High School from right here in Santa Ana, California.
It's imperative for Washington State that they stay healthy. They're not real deep defensively, particularly in the offensive front. If they can keep their guys healthy, they could be in this Rose Bowl race come November.
Second down and 10. Bean now from the shotgun. Looking right. Will throw right. That's Washington. He'll be knocked out short of a first down.
Washington on the reception.
That was Johnny Nansen, a sophomore strong side corner out of the Long Beach area. He was recruited to Washington State as an option quarterback out of Long Beach. You talk about this defense, and it's so quick, so well skilled. And one of the reasons, Rob, is Mike told us last night, is a lot of Washington State's defensive players were former great prep players on offense.
Right. You see Chad Davis there saying hello to his folks. But they took their best offensive players and they put them on defense.
3rd and 2. It is incomplete, and again, there's Ray Jackson. Intended for Avery Anderson. It'll be a 4th down, 4th and about 1.5 yards for the Bruins.
You know, Terry Donahue told us yesterday that he wasn't really certain what kind of a team he had here. They were really sort of reevaluating where they stood realistically. Were they a top 10 team? Were they a team that could contend for the conference championship? He wasn't real sure, and he thought they would find out something tonight. And I don't think the answer he's getting right now is the one that he really expected.
That's a good point. 4th down and a long one from the 29-yard line. That's Sharmon Shaw. He's got the first down and more as he goes out across the 37, hit by Todd Jensen. Well, the Bruins will retain possession with 3:43. They'll move the chains. The clock will start. From the 38-yard line, the Bruins again will come from the gun. Double wideouts to the bottom. The lone wide out to the right. Squirts out across the 41 where Todd Shaw put the hit on him. Let's go to Paul Sunderland.
Don Sasso, we've talked about him all night long. Had a great football game along with Chad Eaton. They play next to each other on the defensive front. And a lot of people think they ought to be called the rare pair. They look in the media guide. They find out everything about the player who's blocking them, where they're from, what their mother's name is, what plays they want to run, everything. They talk so much trash. People say they ought to try out for Dream Team 2. Back to you.
James Darling again levels a UCLA quarterback. I'll tell you, the UCLA quarterbacks, both Wayne Cook and now Ryan Beaton, have been on the run all afternoon.
Well, when you have a speedy defense that likes to put pressure on the quarterback, you can keep the quarterback on the run all afternoon. I think Wayne Cook would tell you that this is a very special Washington State defense.
Looking for the first down. He'll be short. Mike Wynn grabbed it at the 47-yard line. Well, they're going to give him a very generous spot out across the 48. And that's enough for the first down. Hit by Singor Mobley.
You know, Phil, every team that has a championship season or a winning season has a point in the season where they get over the hump. And for Washington State, coming here and beating UCLA in the Rose Bowl might be the game that gets Washington State over the hump so that they can win the real close competitive games down the line.
That was only UCLA's second third down conversion in 16 chances. That time almost intercepted by James Darling, a sophomore out of, I'd love to say this, Kettle Falls, Washington.
Where is Kettle Falls?
That'll be in Washington.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't real sure about that. Probably up near Snoqualmie Falls.
Where is that?
That's in Washington.
Okay.
Second down and 10. The ball at the 49-yard line with 2:08 to play in the ball game. McElroy goes wide to the right. Avery into the ball game, as is Brent Brennan. Over the middle it goes. It is caught by McElroy. He's got it out just about at the line of scrimmage and no more. Ryan Stewart on the tackle.
I'll tell you something else, Phil. This Washington State team is brimming with confidence.
Hey, say hi to Big J. All right.
Hey, Big J.
That's
right, baby. Hey, what's up, Richard up in Connecticut? What's up, man? Come on.
Scott Sanderson and Chad Davis having a few words there. Sanderson, his big left tackle that protected Davis all day long. Bean rolls right, puts it up for grabs, and overthrows Sharmon Shaw. Well, next up for UCLA, they take on Washington in Seattle next Saturday, and then they've got to go to Berkeley to take on the Bears of California. You look at their schedule, then they come back here in 3 weeks to play the Beavers of Oregon State, Arizona, Stanford, Arizona State, and they wind it up here at the Rose Bowl against the Trojans of the University of Southern California. 1:35 to play in this one. 4th down and 10. Bean over the middle it goes. It's cut at the 30-yard line. Avery Anderson. And Bean paid.
Oh, did he ever? Did he ever? But Bean stood in there and threw a bullet. As you see Anderson run the square in route, he's going to dive for it. It looks like he lost it just at the end there. He didn't have possession of it.
And they're calling it incomplete, but watch the shot Ryan Bean takes.
Oh, man. Does he get creamed? Number 56, Brian Stewart, drills him. And once again, you'll see that Anderson does not come up with this ball. He loses possession of it. Right there, there's a grab, but you see the ball falling through his arms and hits the ground.
Derek Chapman, a senior quarterback out of Chula Vista, California, has come on to replace Chad Davis here in the final minute, 29 seconds. That's Sparks. And all you want to do right now if you're Washington State is run the clock. You've got the football. You've got a 21-0 lead. No need to do anything fancy.
Well, there'll be a lot of standing around and congratulating one another for Washington State right now. The pads are coming off on the sideline for the Washington State players. As you take a look at Derek Chapman, 6'4" player, 206 pounds.
Now the Bruins of UCLA wondering now, what next? What's our season going to be like? 2nd down and 10 from the 49. Sparks again. This time he tries to follow Lewis and Sanderson and ran into London Woodfin. Now for Washington State, next week they head to Tennessee to take on the Volunteers. And then it's Oregon and Arizona heading for Pullman.
Well, that Arizona ball game is going to be something special, especially for those folks like me who love good defense.
Boy, is Mike Price excited.
It's a huge win for the Washington State program.
And that'll be the final play of this ball game. And for the first time since 1988, Washington State has come to the Rose Bowl and will leave with a victory. Final score, the Cougars of Washington State, 7-point underdogs. They shut out the Bruins 21-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Time, it's...
Two-back attack helped him running the football. There it didn't help him so much in the play-action pass. Good speed from the backside by Dwayne Sanders. The one thing about these defensive linemen, they can all run. Even the 300-pounder, Darryl Jones inside there, can run.
Fiend back in the shotgun. 4-man rush. Up and down the middle. Caught. Caught the 30-yard line by McElroy.
He dropped one a minute ago. He makes a big play, and right now there's a hanky on the turf. McElroy's the fastest man on the team, so if you're going to go deep, you might as well go to him. He beat the defender, and the rest of the coverage just lost him.
It's going to count.
Holding on the defense.
There it is.
During the pass, the penalties decline.
51 yards. And the Bruins have moved to the Cougars' 26-yard line, and now their first scoring opportunity of this afternoon. They need to cash this one. They did it on 3rd and 17, Coach.
They didn't think they could do it, did they?
Right down to center field, and there was McElroy. Now Abdul-Jabbar, the lone running back. Pair of tight ends. Anderson and Jordan are the wide men, and Fiend, with perhaps some confidence, fires to Abdul-Jabbar, who's loose. 15-10. Abdul-Jabbar now sprints to the right, goes to the flag, out of bounds. And hold on here, what the ruling is, if they fumble through the end zone, that may come out. Is that a touchback? They're marking it down, though, on the half-yard line. They're saying he was down right there. Hold on.
Here he's going to the corner of the end zone. See, he's trying to get the ball into the end zone. It was knocked out before he got to the end zone. They stripped him right there.
It is. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. There's a rule in the college rule book. And that's what happens in that particular situation.
That's the worst rule they've got in there, and you'd never, ever see it called.
I don't think I've ever seen it in the years that I've watched college football, and here it is.
I never have. He's making a great effort to try to get it in the end zone there. It got knocked out before he got there. It went out of bounds through there. You talk about a turnover through a penalty. That's got to crush you.
And the rule book says it comes back to the spot where it was fumbled and goes over. There it is. Beautiful shot. Our cameraman was right on top of that. That is a gorgeous shot of that play. You have seen a very rare occurrence in college football. Now Sparks in the end zone just battled his way out to avoid the safety with Stretz hanging on.
Stretz was really quick getting off the ball. It almost looked like he was offside on that play. He was so quick. He had a real jump on it. Consequently, he makes a real big play, almost a safety. He can't figure that one out.
That's his second fumble here today.
Critical here just to hold him down here. Just hold him down, knock him back.
Again, he just barely gets out to avoid the safety. I mean, no more than half a step, and Madu was hit by it.
See, they're slanting those defensive tackles, inside charges, outside charges, and he took a slant to the inside, got the penetration, and darn near hit him in the backfield. Here he comes, both tackles. One tackle to the outside, one tackle to the inside, penetration.
Veteran quarterback, heavy fire from the defense, a little play action, quick pop, might do some business.
Yeah, he'll do it. Different defense up front now. They're in that odd man front now. He's audibly.
Safety! They don't get out. Stretz hit him in the end zone. It's a safety. There's a deuce for the Bruins, and the Cougars will kick it off for the 20.
Very good play. 3 plays in a row. Stretz was beating people inside, either physically straight on or slanting. This time he's on the nose, and he comes off the center's nose. The center cannot get any help on this play because the guards are covered, so he just jumps around, he comes up underneath, and there he is. Right in the middle of your screen, you'll see it happen again. He jumps underneath the guard, and there he is. When you cover those 3 offensive linemen inside, nobody gets any help.
So now the Cougars are over there huddling the special teams. They went through this possibility yesterday. They know exactly what they've got to do here from the 20. And now the Bruins will send Colbert and Guidry back deep to see if they can bring it back. And the man they're going to want to block is going to be number 38, Coach.
Yeah, I know it. He can really
Washington
cover.
State.
He's the second fastest man on the team. That's Philip Glover, the backup inside linebacker.
He
Just a young kid.
going to become a superstar.
You know,
write it down. Here could be the next Fields at this school as he starts to mature.
The linebacker coach told me when he finds out what it's all about, he is going to be a dandy.
So they block him out of the way. And then the ball carrier is buried at the 38. That was Guidry who was brought down. Well, let's take a look at Glover, and let's see how many men have to occupy him when he comes down, Coach. This is special teams in college football.
I don't know if everybody knows about him yet. If everyone knows about him, then they're going to assign more than 1 or 2 guys on him. But this time, they're just going with a wedge here, and they kick him out. They get 3 guys in the wedge to knock him out. He's fighting for his life.
And
works his way back in. Yep.
He did not go down, and 3 guys came after him. First down and 10 now. Fiend looking for a quick strike. The reverse. Ayers brings it around. Fiend's his lead blocker. Ayers with daylight, right sideline, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. There's a 21-yard burst.
You know, he's run that play twice effectively this year. He ran it in for touchdown. This time he makes a real good gain. He also gets a real good block from Fiend, his quarterback. That's their #1 running play in terms of repetitions. They call that more the counter play. They run the counter action. See, they fake that. Now they hand the reverse off their #1 running play. And this is Ayers coming around. Fiend gets a nice block right here, number 7. You'll see him get a block right there on Walker, number 6. First down.
Anderson is slotted. Play fake. Fiend looks to the left, has time. And Anderson cannot make the diving catch. He was down on the turf, and the ball was trapped. It's not a fluid motion that Fiend has.
No, and he's through with a little wide base that time, and the nose of the ball was down. It's not going to get there with the nose of the ball down. It's got to get the nose up.
Play comes in now for the Bruins sideline, Jordan and Watson. So they give Fiend a fullback in this situation. 2nd and 10.
Jarvis
Bruins
Watson
need to hurry. They trail it 24-2. Need to jump back and get a quick score here.
They ran the ball real well the starting series of the half out of this formation.
Abdul-Jabbar bursts to the middle and first down.
See, with the 2-back attack, the fullback taking on a linebacker, the offensive line comes off in man-to-man zone blocking principles. They just charge straight ahead. They come off the ball right here, knock people off the ball. This kid is also a cutback runner. Nice block at the point of attack. Good hole up inside. That's the kind of football they have to play on first down. Positive football.
McBride, number 81, brings the play in for the Bruins sideline. 4th quarter, Washington with that 1-point lead. Abdul-Jabbar blasts inside the 20. That's another Bruin first down.
See, Bill Doba, the defensive coordinator, was concerned. He said, if the Bruins just line up and come right at us, I don't know if we can hold up inside. But he said most of the time, teams won't run right at you enough to go ahead and beat you. Nothing else has worked. The Bruins, good switching game plan thinking, we're going after you physically and put the burden on what's supposed to be a very fine offensive line.
The ball is inside the Cougar 20-yard line. Bruins finally showing a little muscle and effort in this game. Abdul-Jabbar. And he is stood up at the 16-yard line. Nice stop that time by Chris Hayes. He's a returner. He relays the defensive signals to his teammates. Number 22, a lot of speed.
How'd you like to be a 215-pound linebacker, have to take on Jonathan Ogden on a draw at 6'8". Jonathan Ogden, the left-hand corner of your screen, sets, shows draw blocking, goes in, and he just pancakes right there to the left side of your screen and puts him down.
2nd down now and 7 for the Bruins. And a penalty flag is thrown. Did they take... There was 3 seconds left on the clock, and the umpire tossed that flag in there, so there must have been some movement down in the trenches.
Offensive lineman on the right side, Brant.
Dead ball. Ball start.
Yep.
Offense. 5 yards.
That'll kill you.
2nd down.
Just kill you when you make a mistake there in that situation.
Well, they've got the Cougars on their heels right now when they come right off after them, taking advantage of that big set physical people. 21-13.
Yeah, Ewert just ran one in after throwing the pass.
Remember, he ran real well one time last week and ended up fumbling at the end.
2nd and 12. Cougars rush 6. They got the blitzer loose. End zone, and Jordan a little bit high. He had a step. but there was pressure. Hayes was closing in on Fiend.
Hayes came around the backside. He had time to get it off. If he brings it down just a little bit, Jordan can go up and make that play. He had the touchdown.
Here come the Buckeyes, folks. If you haven't seen them out here along the Pacific Network, they well could wind up in the Rose Bowl this year. That's a real good football team. Tough schedule. Must go into Happy Valley. But the Bucks have the best team John Cooper's ever had. Meanwhile, Fiend is here now with 3rd and 12 for the Bruins. Here comes the blitz. They bring it. They hit him on the release. Almost intercepted, but it was the blitz that did the damage. Fiend didn't have a chance. Hit on the release. They could not fill the gap and pick up the blitzer. I mean, does he get ripped?
They didn't plan to blitz very much, but boy, they called one at the right that time. You can't pick up everybody that's blitzing. You've got to get rid of the ball quickly. Right down the gut they come. Safety coming inside. Wham! There he goes. That was a vicious hit by Dwayne Stewart, the strong safety. And he's smarting after that shot.
So now the Bruins will attempt a field goal. Merton. A 38-yard attempt. He's got it. It's 24-5 now, and John Saunders, I noticed a surprising thing a moment ago. Texas A&M's passing game brought him back. What's going on?
Well, Brent, I know you expected this one to be a great one, and it is. Corey Pullig just zips this one in there. 38 yards to Albert Cornell, the second time they hooked up today. A&M takes the lead. The word on Coy Detmer, slight tear of his ACL. He could return. 21-20, Brent.
You know, John, one of the things that I well remember about Texas A&M, they beat up on Coy Detmer's brother in a bowl game about as savagely as I have ever seen a defense take a quarterback apart. And how ironic now that the younger brother goes out. And let us hope that that knee injury is certainly not serious. I think John said an ACL, because he's a tough, good-looking youngster.
Boy, he's as good as we've seen in a long time.
Oh, baby.
He can throw that football from the left side of his body.
Well, let's see. Here in the second half, the Bruins lead at 5-0. I guess that's not how they score this, huh? Andersek, he kicked the last one out of the end zone. This one he wants a return, and it'll be Hinchin. They force him right sideline. Hinchin, penalty flag, could be a clip fumble. Terry cover. Number 15, Cobbs, falls on the ball, and that's going to give it UCLA's ball. I'm sure that was a clip down there, wouldn't you think? Illegal block. UCLA football going in, trailing 24-5.
Well, if you want something to go your way and get you fired up.
Illegal block in the back on the return team. The penalty refused. UCLA ball, 1st and 10.
And we've got a new quarterback. Cade McNown has trotted onto the field. Ryan Fiend must have been shaken up pretty badly on that blitz hit.
Well, he took a shot right up underneath the chin. I would be surprised if he could return.
So a true freshman.
He was a second-half player himself last week.
He's going to need all his athletic skill to bail out now. The Cougars will be stomping and storming. Abdul-Jabbar stopped at the 23 by Darling and Stewart. Stewart has gotten real aggressive.
Second half offensively, 19 points in the first half this year, 72 in the second half. They've got to stay with that trend.
They need a bunch here, don't they, Coach?
You bet.
McElroy's to the right, Jordan's to the left. Jordan's still one reception away for the UCLA record. Abdul-Jabbar McNown, left-hander, whips it. There's the record at the 12-yard line. And Jordan now the all-time reception leader for the UCLA Bruins.
That's 156 receptions for that young man. Coming off a knee operation. Very fine football player. Actually, he's coached by one of my former football players. Norm Anderson's the wide receiver, was my wide receiver on the Rose Bowl team. I'm getting old, Coach.
Don't bring that up. First down and 10. Bruins with McNown in at quarterback. Slot formation to the right. McElroy. Abdul-Jabbar is the running back. He'll go to the right. Hurdle, a running back, and battle to the 7-yard line.
You call it, he hurdled. This kid wants to get upfield. Actually, if he'd have bounced it outside a little bit more, he really had all green AstroTurf to run on. But he's so intense, he just got up over the top of people.
Now, that is legal in the college game.
Yes, it is.
Because of Joe Cap, that's no longer legal in the NFL.
They don't like it.
The old days.
Not with feet first.
All right, this is going to be 2nd down now, and about 4 yards to go for the 1st down. Can the Bruins punch one in quickly here in the 3rd quarter? They have 5 points already, still trail it, 24-5. Delay, and Abdul-Jabbar comes off the first hit and makes it to the 4-yard line, but still short of that 1st down. They're going to need at least 2 for the 1st down and 3 for the touchdown.
Boy, I tell you, he can take a hit and keep his motor running as well as anybody we've seen this year.
Yes.
Maybe not the fastest guy in a tailback position, but very strong, great balance, and he gets upfield with the football.
Unfortunately for him, he's coughed it up a couple of times today. Skip Hicks will give him a breather. Skip Hicks is healthy here today, so number 42 is checked on in, and they also run Watson in at fullback. So they're going to give themselves an extra blocker here. They'll follow Watson, and nothing doing. He was outnumbered at the point of attack. They lose a couple of yards as Nansen and Holmes bury him for the Cougars.
You know, every time they pull people in the offensive line, they've been allowing penetration. They're too quick for them. When they've come off the ball, zone blocking, they have kept the line of scrimmage clean and made yards. That time they pulled people, you'll see offensive linemen on the left-hand side of your screen pull out of there. There's penetration up inside there. Here it comes, bang, and Nesson makes the play.
Well, here's a field goal. Coach Donahue and the staff want to get on that 8 number against 24. Get themselves to within 16. And he's done exactly that. It's 24-8. The Bruins with 8 points here in the 3rd quarter. Now, if you're a Bruin optimist, you love it. If you're a bit of a pessimist, you say, nah, we've been down there too many times and no touchdowns. We get down once, fumble, wind up with a safety, and then we kick a couple of field goals, and we got to have touchdowns to get back in this game. So you look at it any way you want right now, but 1:29 to go, 24-8 Washington State. Let's take a look at next Saturday. Let me remind you again, we mentioned the Buckeyes. Notre Dame exploding. That's a good one. Folks going to want to watch that.
That is a good one. I'll tell you, the Buckeyes may be the best Buckeye team we've seen since we've been broadcasting them. Boy, they're solid offensively in that offensive line, and very good Eddie George running back.
I hope you got to see the feature on Keyshawn Johnson on ESPN on their pregame show. If some of you folks down the Pacific Network happen to see that. What a fine story on that young man. It was a ball boy. Ronnie Lott brought him into USC. He's as good a wide receiver as you and I have seen in a long time.
And he came alive up here a year ago when we were doing the game. They got the man-to-man coverage, and Rob Johnson got him the football, and it was no game.
All right, here we go now with Clayton and Madu back deep. There's a great kick by Anderson coming out in the 20. Hey, Jack Arute, I know you've been hanging out with the intellectuals around Pullman. I'm still looking for an answer. What's the difference between a cougar, a puma, and a mountain lion?
Well, let me look. I'll check with some real intellectuals. Actually, this is my pleasure. Now, all right, I'm confused, girls. What is the difference between a puma, a mountain lion, and a cougar? I don't understand.
Cougars will tear you up. Cougars are real
What did I say?
They said the Cougars would tear us up. But wait a minute. What about... I'll ask him a question after this play. 1st and
10 now for the Cougars, and they need a little drive. They don't want to be giving this right back up. Davis fires. Complete fumble. But it is recovered by Washington State. That was almost the break that the Bruins were looking for right here. But the wide receiver did a heck of a job of battling back for that ball, and that is Thomas. Jack?
Well, what about a Nittany lion? What's up with those? I got him speechless, guys. What does a cougar sound like? That's it. It's all over.
All right, Jack. 24-8. These Cougars with the lead on the Bruins. It's not been a good arena for Bears. The Grizzlies of Montana beaten, and now the Bruins are losing. Davis eyes the defense. Short drop. Through high to Madu. And John Saunders, we talked about the Buckeyes. How they doing?
Well, Brent, I can tell you the difference between a Buckeye and a Panther. Bobby Hoying is the difference right now. 62 yards to Terry Glenn. For Glenn, 9 catches, 251 yards. That's a record, and his 4th touchdown. Bobby Hoying ties a record with his 5th touchdown toss. 41-14. Brent.
Keyshawn Johnson is the best wide receiver this side of Terry Glenn.
Yeah, and Terry Glenn's got some eligibility left.
Oh, baby. 2nd down and 10 now for the Cougars. This is Sparks behind the left side, and that stretch has turned the entire defensive line around.
I don't know. He's not the captain, but he's the leader. He has set the tempo, and it's great when a defensive lineman up there in the grunt position can get up there, put his hands down, and set the tempo for the whole squad.
This grunt, 4 tackles for a loss. Look at him, bald head out of Tempe, Arizona State. Let him get away. Look at that. That's a football player's neck. He's ready.
And haircut.
He responded to what the coach had to say. Somebody stood up. All we need are a few good men. 3rd down and 12 now for the Cougars. They need 12 to keep this going. Davis under pressure steps to the left. Gonna have to keep it, and he'll go out of bounds. And UCLA forces Washington State to punt. They've turned this game around after that last talk from the head coach. Hadn't been the same.
That's right. And somebody on the field stepped up and helped him. Gretz that time with the other defensive tackle, they ran a stunt, cross charge, and got pressure up inside and pushed him outside. He couldn't find a receiver open downfield. They run him out of bounds.
You got to go for the block punt here. You turn things around. It's 4th down. You got to turn them loose. If you think you've spotted any kind of a weakness, you need to go. Nope, the Bruins say just punt it to us. We got plenty of time. And Henry slips a tackle. Henry up the middle. Henry 45. Henry will be ripped down at the 45. Like I said, what we need is a good return for the Bruins.
It's sure easier up here, Coach, I'll tell you that. But that's a gutsy return. Again, the coverage did not come to balance properly, meaning they didn't break their knees, lower their center of gravity, and come in and make sure they can make the tackle. See, there's people missing tackles, and he runs right up there, courageously right up in between people. The best way to get to the other end zone is straight ahead.
Now the Bruins with their freshman McNown at quarterback. Watson and Abdul-Jabbar. Jordan is off to the left. The toss. Abdul-Jabbar, midfield, slams free. Can't bring him down with the first hit this half.
If they will stay with this kind of running game, keep the line of scrimmage clean by coming off the ball, zone block it, give the ball deep to a tailback, they will score some more points. Maybe not enough to win, but they'll score more points.
You know, Dick, what's interesting about this, as you watch this play, Coach Donahue told me something that was fascinating, something I hadn't thought about. He said if you fall behind in the Rose Bowl and you come out with this power game, the fans expect you to throw the ball. They get more impatient than the coaching staff. If we fall behind here, we can go ahead with this power running game, and no one will boo it. The fans won't say anything. No one boos. You know, it's kind of, you know, and it's true.
Oh, hey, no question.
But some situations,
I coached out there before.
I forgot that.
And I'll tell you, the expectations of a Terry Donahue and a UCLA football program are so much greater today. He's been so successful, and he's spoiled everybody out there. I think now they actually take him for granted.
I agree. Hey, we got to check in on the A&M Colorado game. John Saunders, what's up, partner?
Well, Brent, A&M had a chance to add to their lead following a Buffs turnover. They set up for the field goal. Kyle Bryant, 28 yards, but it's blocked by Kerry Hicks. And so the lead is still just 1 with plenty of time left. Brent.
As advertised, Dick.
Yeah, you know, that's the trouble with that style of offense. Now, I'm not saying trouble. You'll understand what I mean. You've got a great quarterback, so you build everything around him. Very seldom do you have 2 great quarterbacks. So you've got to be able to run the ball when he's not there. They're not a great running team.
That is Nansen. He put the... So he put a lick on Abdul-Jabbar down there on the sideline and went down.
He's out of Long Beach. He's filling in and playing the position that Ron Childs played so well last year, that went from Kansas City as a free agent, played well. They tried to sneak him through the draft, and the New Orleans Saints claimed him.
You know what was interesting about this play? not only did Nansen go down, but so too did Hayes.
That's both
you know
outside
that both of them are now out of the game?
I've never seen that.
I have never seen both outside linebackers hit one running back, and the running back, well, he's ready, you know? So you got to wonder about the understudies now on the edge for this one. But the middle of the fumble picked up by the Cougars, but whistled down. The whistle had sounded.
Ooh, that was a quick whistle.
UCLA holds on to the ball.
The officials had a better position on that call than I did, but boy, that seemed awful quick. You know, with those two outside backers out, they might want to test outside running game right now because they have two inexperienced linebackers playing at the same time in the outside positions in 4-3s, and that's critical.
So the third quarter comes to an end, and we'll return with the fourth quarter between UCLA and Washington State after this message and word from our ABC station.
A lot of what I do goes on behind the scenes. You know, most people aren't exactly on a first-name basis with their State Farm claim representative. They know their agent, but they probably don't know that their agent has a partner, that we're a team, that we've worked on hundreds of claims together. But people take notice when a claim is handled promptly, and you won't get too many complaints if you just treat them fair, because that's when people appreciate what we do and who they're insured with.
Okay, David, get back to me. Right. And Peter, 2 words. In budget.
Well,
now look at MIS. Under budget, reduced staff.
But sir,
we all got to work smarter.
But sir, it's not her. It's those new computers. They do everything for her.
I suppose they just installed themselves.
Practically, they tell her if there's a problem even before it happens. It's under budget.
Compact desktops and servers make the most of Windows 95, creating a system that can almost run itself.
Where does he get this stuff?
Well, actually, he's right.
Sunday, if life's driving you crazy, then take a load off and have a ball. Hang on to your seats for the most hilarious hour of fun. It's an all-new Funniest Home Video Sunday on ABC.
This program on KBC TV is brought to you by the employee owners of Avis.
We're into the future. We're into the past. Mommy's lost.
Not this mommy. Not in this car.
Avis Satellite Guidance.